In this video, we're going to dissect 3 different IUL quotes people have submitted to me to review to see if their policies were designed correctly to grow cash value or more so designed to pay their agent a big commission. And if you don't know what an IUL is, please just pause this video and check out the video that I linked above. If you continue on, you'll just be super confused. Come back after. And before we dive in, my name is Amanda Ryba. I've been a licensed financial coach and consultant for the past decade, and I've been designing IULs my entire career. I've helped over 1,000 clients with these policies. I've trained thousands of licensed agents how to design them correctly, and I now produce content here on social media for literally the last 4 years, teaching you how to do it too. So I kind of know what I'm doing. Let's dive in. But real quick before we dive in, if you don't know this, the more life insurance somebody gets inside of their IUL, the more money they can put into that account every single month or year. So the more life insurance you get, the more money you can save. The less life insurance you get, the less money you can save. If the client's goal is to grow cash value, you usually want to get the least amount of life insurance possible for the most amount of money that they want to save per month or per year, because that's going to help the cash grow quicker, give them access to it sooner, and ultimately just keep the cost down so all of this can happen. So let's check out the scenarios. Okay, here we have scenario number 1. This is literally what I see when you guys submit a complimentary IUL quote review to me. And the very first thing that I zoom into is what is the death benefit and what is the premium. She's got a $700,000 death benefit and she's putting in $1,000 a month. The next thing I look at is her current age. She's currently 37 and she sent this quote review to me at the end of 2025. So she was still 37 years old when she opened up the policy. Now you notice the name of the company is blocked out because we can't talk about any specific companies here on social media. Doesn't really matter. It's not relevant to this situation anyways. And her overall goal is maximum cash value, right? Cash accumulation value. So I can already tell by looking at this, because I've run thousands and thousands of IUL quotes in my career, that this policy is not designed correctly for her to grow cash value unless she plans to increase her premium. So let's dissect this. Now, when I met with her, I reran this IUL with one of the carriers that I work with. I cannot rerun it unless she gives me an actual in-force illustration of the carrier that she worked with. But with a $700,000 death benefit, her maximum premium that she could contribute per year would be somewhere around $2,750 a month. She is only contributing $1,000 a month. So what that tells me is if she didn't plan to increase her contributions past $1,000 a month, this policy is too big for her. What that means is the death benefit is too high. She would fare far better in this policy, especially with the goal to grow cash value, if she got a lower death benefit. For example, if she reduced the death benefit down to $250,000, that would reduce her maximum premium that she can contribute per month to $1,014 per month, which basically means if she's contributing $1,000 a month, she's basically maxing out the policy, which if she didn't see herself contributing any more into it, this would be the perfect design. Now, why this is so important is because if the client's goal is maximum cash value, having a massive death benefit like $700,000 means she's paying for a lot of life insurance that she doesn't need or maybe even want. So reducing the death benefit down reduces down her maximum premium, which reduces her cost, which will ultimately help her cash value grow quicker. So when we get into those retirement years, you can see the difference in the income stream. Let's say she's earning an average of 6% interest per year, which most IULs earn way better than that, usually somewhere between 8 to 10% interest per year over a 30-year span. But let's just assume she's only earning 6% per year. In the first example, which is what she has with the $700,000 death benefit, her income in retirement from age 65 to 90 is estimated to only be at $63,000 per year. But if she got a smaller death benefit and reduced it to $250,000, that income would shoot up to $75,000 every single year in retirement. And that's a massive difference. So I don't know about you, but reducing the death benefit down gets her an extra $12,000 a year in income in retirement every single year. That's significant. This is why you want to design these correctly. Now here is scenario number 2. So again, if we zoom into the death benefit and the premium, it's a $600,000 death benefit with a $625 month premium. Now the $625 is already a little bit of a red flag. I asked the client, did you choose $625 a month or did they tell you it's $625 a month? Who just randomly chooses they want to put $625 a month into their IUL? Kind of random. Now, you also want to take a look at her age, right? She's 54 years old when she submitted this quote to me. And she said she opened up her IUL in 2018. Now, she sent this quote review to me in 2024. That means she was 48 years old when she opened up her IUL. Now, the goal is cash value growth, and the name of the insurance company actually matters in this situation. I blocked it out because we're not allowed to say it, but I will talk about that here in a second. But with this one, this is a little bit of a unique situation. You have to pay attention to the year the IUL was opened up. It was opened up in 2018. Back in 2018, IUL policies were designed completely differently. You had to get much larger death benefits to be able to put in any kind of significant premium into them. But in January of 2021, a new law came out that changed everything. Going into effect on January 1st, 2021, the Consolidated Appropriations Act, the CAA, came out, and it basically updated some outdated guidelines around Section 7702, which limited how much money could be contributed per year into cash value life insurance relative to the size of the death benefit. Basically, the CAA doubled the amount of money somebody could save into their policy per year based on the size of that death benefit. So what this law did is this actually allowed clients to get way less life insurance than they had been getting in the past to accomplish the same result, which basically means the policies are cheaper, their cash value would grow quicker, and they could ultimately save more money. So to really analyze this client's policy correctly, we can't rerun this illustration unless she hands me again an in-force illustration from the company, which she didn't. So what you kind of have to do is cut the death benefit in half to make today's policy look similar to what she experienced back then. So instead of running a new illustration at a $600,000 death benefit, I ran her at a $300,000 death benefit, which would again be what it would be today. We wouldn't need to get her $600,000 today to accomplish the same result. And that would make her maximum monthly premium $1,600 a month. Again, she is contributing $625 a month. That is significantly lower than the maximum monthly premium. And again, if her goal is to grow cash value, we want to be getting the least amount of life insurance possible to help the account grow, especially once we start to get into our mid to late 40s and into our 50s. We need to reduce the cost as much as possible. So if she could reduce the death benefit down to $125,000, that would reduce the maximum premium to somewhere around $680. And if she's contributing $625 a month, that's much closer. That means more money is going to go towards her cash value and less money is going to go towards the cost. Now again, you'll see what a difference this makes when you look at the income stream in retirement. Let's say she wanted to retire by age 65 and through age 90. Here's the other issue. The insurance company that she got this IUL set up through does not have a participating loan option, which you're going to see. It has a drastic effect on the income. It only has a standard loan option. So with the standard loan, the best she could get in the other example is $10,300 coming out every year from age 65 to 90. I don't know about you guys, but that's not going to be very helpful in retirement compared to if she had reduced the death benefit and she worked with a participating loan, which allows you to borrow against the cash value instead of depleting it like what happens with a standard loan. She could actually get up to $18,500, estimated, of course, coming in every single year from 65 to 90. Again, that's a significant difference. Just by reducing the death benefit and adding in the correct loan type and feature, you can maximize the cash value coming in retirement. Okay, and for this last one, we're zooming into the death benefit and we see a $1.5 million death benefit with a premium of $1,000 a month, and she just kind of freaked out and reduced it down to $500 because she thought it was structured incorrectly, which it is, but we'll get to that later. Then we look at her age. She's 36 years old when she sent me this quote review. She opened up her IUL in 2021. She sent me the quote review in 2024, meaning she was 33 years old when she actually opened up the IUL with a goal to grow cash value. And the insurance company that she did this through is a great one. I've worked with them in the past, so I know it can do everything she wants it to do if the policy is structured correctly. So let's dissect this. Now, with a $1.5 million death benefit, her maximum premium would be around $5,450 a month. And again, she's only contributing $1,000 a month. That's a problem. Again, if her goal is not to contribute a dollar over that $1,000 a month, the death benefit is too big if her goal is to grow cash value. So if we reduced her death benefit down to, let's just say $300,000 as opposed to a massive $1.5 million, that would reduce her maximum monthly premium to $1,100 a month, which is significantly closer to the $1,000 a month that she's putting in as we speak today. And again, you'll see how this significantly impacts her income stream in retirement. If she wants to retire from age 65 to 90 with the IUL she has, she's estimated to receive $61,500 every single year. But if it was structured correctly with a $300,000 death benefit, she could expect to receive $100,000 every single year from 65 to 90 in retirement. Now, I don't know about you, but that is a drastic difference, the most drastic of all three scenarios. And this proves to you why it's so important that these policies need to be set up and structured correctly to meet people's goals. Now, when designing IUL policies for clients, or if you're somebody looking to own an IUL policy, the structure of it really matters. I always ask my client, what is the goal of the IUL? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want your money to do for you? How many years do you want to fund it for? And ultimately, what's the minimum and the maximum that you could see yourself contributing into that IUL every single year over like the next 3 to 5 years? And that's going to give us a really good range to set the death benefit at so that you have enough wiggle room to continue to increase your premium if you want to, or you just make sure you don't get a death benefit that's too massive for what your goal is or what you're trying to accomplish. Because as I said in the beginning, the more life insurance you get, the more money you can put into that policy every single year. But as you guys can see, the less life insurance you get, the less money you're allowed to put in, but also the more you will see your cash value grow and accumulate every single year because we're keeping the costs down, which helps the cash grow quicker, which just gives you access to more money faster. Now, if you are an agent looking to be part of a great team that actually teaches you how to design these IUL policies, or maybe you're somebody looking to own an IUL for yourself, let's chat. You can click the link in my bio or in the description below of this video to get access to my calendar. Now, if you want to learn more about how IULs work, I've linked 2 videos here that can walk you through it. Make sure you subscribe because you want to miss another video teaching you exactly what to do when you're talking about these policies. And I will catch you back here next week on YouTube.